All right, hello again, everyone. Today we're going to talk about how do we connect up our SCK-300S model to a computer. Now, some of you may notice this doesn't look like a regular SCK-300S model, but this is just a prototype of the SCK-300S, which uses a metal enclosure. However, the internals are exactly the same, motor is the same, controller is the same. So, unlike our normal or regular SCK-300 and 300P models, which makes use of just a standard Arduino board and our custom firmware, the SCK-300S, because it's based on using a high precision stepper motor, we have to use a stepper motor driver. So that being said, we can't use the same approach we use for connecting up to the SCK on SCK-300P models. We have to take a slightly different approach. And so there are three ways you could go about doing this for the SCK-300S model. And the easiest is just to open the case up, and you will see a USB micro connector here. And you just take that, and probably have to drill a hole through the case, but you just plug in a USB micro cable to it and connect that cable to your computer. Now comes a little bit difficult part. Because this is just a off-the-shelf component, the company which makes it, I believe it's pronounced Pululu or Pululo. I'll leave the links in the description. Have their own set of commands and software libraries that you could use to communicate with this from a PC. The one we would recommend, if you just want to quickly connect it up to the to your computer and not write any software, of an Arduino board like this, or any Arduino board for that matter, and that essentially acts to connect this control board up to the computer, and also to translate our software SCK-Talk commands to the commands this board understands. So now you have the device connected to the SCK-300S, and also connected to the computer. So we're going to launch SCK-Talk, and now again we're going to select COM7, which is already there. We hit connect. So two things should happen when we hit connect if everything works out. The blinking light stops blinking. That's a good sign. And it should also have an indication like, yes, the SCK 300S unit is connected. And now it's all about running command. If your goal is to connect up your SCK-300S and you don't want to write any custom software of your own, you could make use of our SCK-Talk program with by just employing one of these little Arduino boards to translate the commands from the tick board to our so we're software. Seeing two methods of connecting the SCK-300S up to the computer through a wired connection, for a USB connection. What about a wireless connection or a Bluetooth connection? Again, we're going to make use of one of these Arduino devices. In this case, it's a this is an AceBot ESP32 plug it into board, the USB port as before. Turn on the device, and again you should notice a blinking light this time. Not blue, green blinking light. So that tells us the sketch is running and everything. So far, again, we're going to launch our program. And instead of COM7 as we did before, we're going to do COM6, and we're going to do connect. So if everything is set up correctly, we have the same that blinking LED that's going to stop blinking because we get a nice solid green color that says, all right, SCK-300S is detected, and we should also get some text indicating that. And as before, we could run, we could use the software the same way. So let's go ahead and stop this. All right, so overall, if you have an SCK-300S and you want to connect it up to your computer, it's possible. However, it does require some knowledge of programming, also knowledge of Arduino boards and so forth. So this is not a project we would recommend if you don't already have that knowledge base. You know, if you do, then it's, you know, you could very inexpensively connect up your SCK-300S to desktop to do a little bit more finer spin coating control.